right now. And here we go. This meeting is being live streamed. So hello, influential leaders and executives. This is Melissa, your host. And today on the Leaders Impact Lab, we're going to talk about how to get out of the weeds to have a bigger strategic impact inside your organization. So I'm having my coffee right now. It's a dreary day, so I'm putting a little bit of inside motivation, a little cup to keep me going. And I just want to quickly introduce myself and introduce Kelsie-Ann, who's joining me today. So you know who we are, our background, and why you might want to stay with us and listen to what we have to say and what we're going to share today. So what I do is I am an executive coach and a management consultant. So every day what that looks like is I'm working with leaders and I'm working with their teams. And what we are working on is creating a highly engaged, high performing team environment so that people can get real work done, but enjoy doing it. That is what I live for. We spend so much time at work. If we don't like what we do, that's a problem, right? So enjoying the time we have at work, having the passion, showing up and doing the work because we want to do it. That is what I aim to create. So that's what it looks like for me in my day-to-day is I'm doing executive coaching, I'm doing team coaching, and we're getting great results. Kelsie-Ann is my right-hand person here. And Kelsie-Ann, what do you do?
I do your marketing and PR.
Yeah. So Kelsie-Ann is my director of marketing and PR, and she joins me on this live to give us the employee perspective. So everything that I share during these lives are things that I actually practice. It's not enough to know these leadership concepts. And I would almost bet that all of you know a lot of the concepts that I'm sharing. But what is not so common is the actual practice, the day in, day out, what it looks like doing it when we become stressed, when things get chaotic, when deadlines are looming, to stay in the practice. That is the hard part. When things blow up, how do you keep at it? That is the hard part. And what I have found in terms of, the magic, so this is what my clients tell me is my magic is being able to take those concepts and make them real. This is what it's going to look like. When you walk into the door tomorrow, this is the lived experience. This is the lived concept. This is what it looks like in action, and actually support you as you start implementing it and doing it day in and day out. So that is who I am. That is what I do. And today we're going to talk about how to get out of the weeds and step into a place of strategic impact. Because as leaders, our job is to start looking at the big picture, having an impact on the big picture. And yet we get stuck in the details of every day. We're putting out fires, we're hand-holding, we're doing all of these things except the thing that's on our desk, except the important work, the thinking work, the strategic work that is going to move the business forward. So that's what I want to talk about today, is how you can avoid getting stuck in the weeds and do more of that important strategic work that only you can do. Okay, underlining this, the work that only you can do. There is no one else suited or has the authority for that work. So people rely on you to step into that work. So if there's anyone joining me today, say hi. And when you watch on the replay, drop hashtag replay. I want to know if you're feeling me. Do you experience this? So say yes if you're feeling me. Do you experience getting stuck in the weeds? Okay, say yes if this sounds familiar. Getting stuck in the weeds, meaning I get stuck in the day-to-day operations and I'm not taking care of the high-level, important strategic work on my desk. And as you are saying yes to this, if you relate, I want you to think about how much of this is the system that you're within, the organization or employees demand on you, and how much of it is you doing it to yourself. And you don't need to like out yourself here. You don't have to write it in the comments, but I want you to take a moment to think about this. Because I think what you'll find is that some of it is external, but a lot of it is internal. And that leads me to step number 1. Step number 1 is to step up and let go. This is a mindset, my friend. Step up into your role to do the work that only you can do, and let go of the things that other people can do. And there is a client that told me this one, and it always stuck, is take your place, all of your place, and only your place. And if you can live that mindset, if you can stay there, so this can be a mantra, okay? When we're talking about mantra or mindsets, like write this down. I'm taking my place, all of my place, only my place. Keep it around you. Come back to it, meditate on it, use it as a way to check in with yourself. Am I there? Because that mindset is going to help you do the other steps. If you're not there, if you feel responsible for everything, if you are coming from the mindset of only I can do it, I'm the only one that has the right answers, I'm the only one that's capable, I don't trust anyone else. If those are the types of biases and assumptions that are running around in your mind, it's going to be really hard to do the other steps. Step number 1 is your mindset. How does that sound to you, Kelsie-Ann? I have a lot more questions for you, but I'm just checking in.
It sounds good. It sounds like the mindset would be where you would start.
Have you, as an employee, have you come around, or have you picked up on different mindsets or things that potentially people have in their mind that gets in their way?
Yes. When something becomes on fire, like not and not like in the physical sense, but just like super important, this has just become number 1 priority, as well as the other thought just left my head. Right.
Sorry, I put her on the spot. I don't tell her ahead of time. Because these are not planned.
No, definitely not.
So what I hear is like, you have experience where things are fine. When things get stressed and become on fire, then the person kind of shifts.
Right.
In their mindset and in their actions.
Right.
Okay, so that is a great like underlining or highlighting that stress can really come and put a boondoggle in everything.
Mm-hmm.
So be aware of stress, because it's the time that you're most stressed that you will forget this and you won't be walking the talk anymore. So step number 2 is set up the supporting systems. So we have, as leaders and humans, every human, okay, we have a bias that people know what we know. We think people know what we know, and it is just not true. And this happens if you start really looking at your interactions and your relationships in not just the workplace, but every place. You will start noticing that you have an assumption that they know what you know. Okay. You can do what you can do, and you can do things, right? You can do a lot of things because of what you know. And when we don't slow down to give people the information that they need and the resources they need, they can't act because we are becoming that bottleneck of information. We're not allowing them. There's no way they can step up and do it because we're not giving them the information they need. And that's huge because you don't know what they know and don't know. So that is a conversation that Kelsie-Ann actually and I have all the time about what she knows. Okay, we're about to do this project. What do you know about this project? And you can't assume just because you have given the information once upon a time that they still remember it, because when someone is learning, they can only capture and retain so much. So repetition is going to be a thing. Capturing the information for them so they have reference points is important. Things like guides and how-tos, things being organized, workflows, cheat sheets, those types of things can really make a difference. Kelsie-Ann, what makes a difference for you in terms of supporting systems?
Supporting systems? Well, where we work remotely, we use quite a few supporting systems, and we use certain systems in different ways. We use like Google Sheets and Google Docs for information that everybody can access. We use Trello for, we've just started actually using it for my task management and delegation and organization. And I find that's a system that I had used it for business content and business information, but never in this way. But I'm finding it surprisingly very surprising, like to get it all out of my head and onto cards and being able to see and then move them from like this is to do, this is doing and done, or doing and in progress, and then to done. Like there's a satisfaction to be able to move it over. Like I'm able to create checklists within the individual cards. So I'm finding that not only is it good right now, but when I go to do these tasks again, there's my checklist. I don't have to go to my memory to remember it because I'm on, there's a lot of information going on here. I have a card of like a reference card that I can go back to, and 1, 2, 3, that item is done.
And interesting thing, when Kelsie-Ann, so as you're probably thinking of your own supporting systems and what you have in place, when Kelsie-Ann came in, I had a lot of supporting systems already in place. But what happened is through time, I noticed some gaps because the supporting systems, some of them, not all of them, but some of the supports that I had in place didn't line up with her in the way that she was working. All right. So it's not necessarily about, oh yeah, I wrote this document, but if no one's like looking at it, know how to use it, then that document is not helpful. So it's important that you create something, put something in place that actually lines up with the person. And the only way you can do that is by engaging that person and working with them. So I'm not setting it up and then giving it to her. She's actually setting it up and I'm feeding the information. So she's taking what I had in the past and she's recreating it so that it works for her. And now we check in and make sure she has the right supporting system. And it's not a one and done. This is, how are we doing now? How are we doing now? What would we need more of, less of? And when you find those gaps, there's always a a solution for some kind of a supporting system. So if this is working right, your employee has everything they need to do the job with or without you. That's the test. Can you walk away and they still know what to do and they can do it with confidence? So you want to see that confidence building up. Step number 3. Step number 3 is once they have the supporting systems in place, you're in your right mindset, they have everything that they need. Now you need to delegate authority. Sometimes my clients tell me my employees are not taking initiative. Most of the time is because they don't know that they're allowed to, that they don't know what's expected of them. They don't know where the line is. How much can I do? What is the expectation? When do I ask for help? When do I need to check in? When do I need to get approval? When can I act and report back? Okay, so you need to be able to very precisely, expressly delegate authority and be very specific about your role. So they need to know that they have the authority to take this on and run with it. So one expression that we use is, hey, here's a ball, you run with it, you come back to me if, or when.
Mhm.
And then the other piece is, okay, I give you that ball, but I still need to support with coaching. Supporting with coaching is really, really important. That you can include some mentoring in there. So it could be supporting with coaching and mentoring. It could be supporting with training, mentoring, and coaching. It could be supported with a little bit of consulting, but I would say be careful with it. So now I'm adding some different types of support here. Consulting, mentoring, training, coaching. These are not all the same things.
I was just going to ask, what's the difference, Melissa? Because it sounds like all the same thing to me.
It sounds like all the same thing to you. And it sounds like a lot of all the same things to a lot of people. We don't differentiate what is the difference. So we say we coach our employees, but we are advice giving, which means we're consulting. If you are giving your expert advice, you're consulting. Okay. If you are giving your experience, your past experience, your know-how, that's now mentoring. If you are teaching, you're training. If you're giving, this is the proper process to go through A, B, C, D, this is the thing, this is how you do that, that's training. Coaching is when you use a communication process to lead people through change. There is a specific arc that the employee will go through to get to the other side. Now, some coaching can include the other pieces. So as I'm talking about this, Kelsie-Ann, I want to know from you what you're hearing.
I am hearing that there are different types and that a lot of the time consulting is considered coaching. And that the person who is actually doing the work is not giving their feedback about the process in some of those.
They're not participating.
It's somebody telling them what they're doing and what they're basically doing wrong and right? Not necessarily good or bad, but the person themselves doing it isn't sharing, they're communicating what's going on with them.
Yeah. Coaching, employee coaching would be employee centered. So when I'm checking in with you and I'm asking you what you think about it, what's going on for you, what you see as possibilities, what's coming up, what's working for you, what's not working for you. And it's really centered around you. That's coaching.
Mhm.
There is a specific art. We're not going to get into all of that. There's not enough time today to do that. But it's about you, and you become the center of the process. So it's not me and my responsibility and trying to get you to do something or see it one way or give you my advice or give you my whatever. This is really about you. And then when needed, then I can go get the consulting. Then I can go get the training. Then I could get the mentorship piece when it's needed. It's a two-way street, but it's really, really, really heavily anchored on the person that you're coaching. So you become a vessel, a facilitator, a guide for that person. And when it comes to coaching in the workplace, it becomes really complicated because it's not 100% the person that you're with, the coachee. There is also yourself, your agenda, the business's agenda. There might be multiple stakeholder agendas that you have to be considering. So it can become a lot more complicated than just straight up coaching. So that is the third step. So can you repeat to me the 3 steps, Kelsie-Ann? Let's give something. A recap for the people listening that want to take note of this.
So the first one would be step up and let go. The second one would be, the systems, like you're implementing supporting systems, and then delegate with authority and
guide with coaching.
And guide with coaching, yes.
Yeah. So delegate authority so that they have the authority. The beautiful thing about delegating authority, it is very scary for leaders. However, once you start delegating authority, you multiply your influence. It's amazing how much power there is in delegation when it's done properly. And there is a lot of ways to do it improperly. There's a lot of ways to delegate and really crash and burn. And there are things that really, there's a few ways that you can do it that brings you to that success, that sets up the employee to do quality work and liberate you and your time to focus on the important strategic work that's on your desk, the thing that only you can do. And getting stuck in the weeds is no favor to your business or to your employees. So I hope this was helpful. I hope I got you thinking. If you are looking to implement these 3 steps, they're easier said than done. Please send me a message. I'd be happy to drop you a few golden nuggets and get you on your way. So if you found value today and you want a little bit more and you want it customized to you, just send me a DM. And I wish you a great day. P.S. We have an EQ Cafe coming up, I believe, next week. So you should hear about that by the end of this week. And have a great day.
Bye, everyone.